Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. As I'm sure you guys know by now, over the past, 2 weeks or so, we have seen so much MW2 content leak out. It is ridiculous. Some of it being very exciting, some of it being a little bit concerning, but today, at least in my own opinion, we have some fantastic news for MW2 multiplayer, thanks to some leaks that ended up surfacing a few days back. In terms of general content it offers and support it offers across all of multiplayer, it makes me very, very excited. So as we go through it all today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. And if you're new here, or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with the latest news, updates, loadouts, leaks, and everything else in between. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But what we have to go over today is a pretty lengthy list of modes that were leaked for MW2 multiplayer. Now, there's no guarantee these are all going to be there right at launch. In fact, we know of at least one of them that is confirmed to be a post-launch mode, likely with Season 1, but there's a lot of stuff here for all parts of multiplayer. And we'll break down why this is such good news for MW2 as we go throughout the list. But like I said, we got a pretty long list here. It's I think 19-20 modes here that are actually leaked and listed for MP. So first up here we have a few standard ones that we can pretty much come to expect with every single Call of Duty game. Team Deathmatch, basic 6v6. It'll probably also be available in other party sizes as well. We've got Domination, my personal go-to mode most years for, grinding out camos, getting a lot of kills. You can control the spawns easily, super fun, but also, like I said, a standard COD mode. Kill Confirmed, we've pretty much seen this in every COD since it was first introduced. We've got Hardpoint returning, obviously going to be a very popular mode for competitive. We've got Free For All, so anyone looking to just run in solo, we've got that. We actually have the return of Demolition, apparently, which we've seen on and off throughout the years. It used to be really big back in the day, like I remember it back in MW2. Actually, my first ever nuke was on Demolition on Estate way back in the day. I remember that so vividly, but in that, in BO1, the spawn traps on Demolition were always insane, so we've got that returning. One that I'm very much so looking forward to, Capture the Flag, especially when it comes to competitive. I have always loved CTF as a mode in Call of Duty comp in the CDL. I won't lie, I am not really a big fan of Control. I don't like to play it. I don't really like to watch it. It's just not that much of an entertaining mode, at least in my opinion. That's my 2 cents. But CTF I think is super intense, especially when it comes down to, super close games with a flag carrier having to make it back in time. Like CTF as a comp mode is fantastic. Moving on, we also have Cyber Attack. We of course saw this in MW 2019. That's where it first debuted, and it seemed to go over relatively well with the community, hence why I think it's coming back here. They saw that players really enjoyed it, so they're bringing it back. Another standard one here, Search and Destroy, of course a super popular competitive mode, probably right there behind TDM and Domination in terms of overall player base and popularity there, and then also great for CDL and competitive as well. We've got Headquarters returning, which is, again, a mode that I'm not super huge on. It was in MW 2019. Obviously, it's been in several other CODs as well, but it's one that I'm not necessarily searching games for on, consistently. It's there if it's popping up in the rotation for one of the small hectic maps when I'm going for camos. One that I am so excited about, Cranked. Cranked might be my all-time favorite mode in COD. I won't lie, just because the way I play COD, it is non-stop movement. It is running around, going for as many kills as possible, just non-stop chaos, right? And that's what Cranked is. I'm so excited that that's on the leaked list. Keep in mind, not all these modes are confirmed. Obviously, they're leaks, so some of them could change, some of them could be scrapped. We don't know for sure, but if all this ends up coming to fruition, especially with Cranked, I'm gonna be so happy come launch if it ends up being a launch mode. For a long time now, I'm not gonna lie, I've wanted to see like a Cranked variant in Warzone. Get rid of some of those corner campers, I think that'd be really cool too, but Cranked, I'm very excited for. Getting into this next few series of modes, we're shifting more towards like party games and a lot more casual modes. Of course, all the ones that we just covered are standard core modes that we've seen before in a lot of CODs, but their gameplay is, relatively competitive. They're there, not necessarily always in a competitive mode per se, like Dom and Hardpoint and Search and Destroy have been previously, but you get what I'm saying there. party modes, though, do seem to be returning, because we've got modes like Gunfight, apparently rumored and leaked here, 2v2, 3v3. I loved it back in MW 2019. Then also in Cold War, Champion Hill was all right, but I'm more of a gunfight guy myself. Moving on, I know a lot of players are going to be very excited about this one, Infected. It's been a fan favorite mode ever since we first saw it introduced, and yes, it is leaked to be returning here in MW2 multiplayer. I remember back in the day, MW3 going for infected Moabs with the Akimbo SMGs. What were they called? FMG9, I think is what it was called. It was just so much fun, man. Infected is an awesome casual mode, so I'm so excited that's coming back as well. Then also staying in the whole party games mode or niche here, we've got All or Nothing, another very fun mode that's based on knives. I know TKO is probably very excited to see that that's a leaked mode, but it does seem like we have some solid support for party games that have already been leaked. I'm sure more could be added on in the future. Things like Gun Game. There's a few others that, like BO1, best party games ever in my opinion. One in the Chamber was great as well. So I'm sure we could see more additions there, but to see that there's already some, background and foundation there for support for party games, I think is great. And then we also have some new modes here, just a couple of these. We've got Bounty, and no actual description, I think, is leaked out for this, at least not that I've seen, but it's called Bounty. I assume that there's some sort of correlation to that, and maybe having like a King of the Hill type mode where one player is the bounty, and if you take him out, then you become the bounty, and if you're the bounty when the game ends, you're victorious, maybe something along those lines. We also have Knockout, which we've talked about before. The goal there is to hold the cash or eliminate the other team to win the game. So if you're holding the cash when the game ends, you win. If you eliminate everybody else, you win. That was the description for that. Another sort of niche that I am stoked for, super excited about, Ground War. I loved it in MW 2019. It was my most played mode by so much, leaps and bounds more so than anything else, just because I loved the maps, I loved the gameplay. It was so much fun. We already know the Ground War maps this year are gonna, sort of make up the Warzone 2 map as well, so there's some integrations with that, but standard Ground War as a mode was detailed, so I imagine it'll be just like in MW 2019, but there's also a new variant of Ground War called Ground War Bomb. We can make assumptions based off of that name. Maybe it's like large scale SND or Demolition, something similar to that. We're gonna have to wait and see for that one though. Then also alongside all these other modes that leaked with their different icons, those were the initial leaks stemming from Reality UK, by the way, there was a DMZ sort of icon as well, so you can sort of count that in here too. We know there's going to be a ranked mode as well for CDL and competitive at some point into the year. It's been rumored to be worked on by Treyarch and Infinity Ward together, which could be really cool, but the reason that I say that simple game mode leaks like this are great news for MW2 is because of the variety. You got a little bit of something for everyone, and that was something that, at least in my opinion, was kind of lacking in Cold War up until a certain point where we started to see more DLC modes added in, but also in Vanguard where there wasn't necessarily something to do for every type of player. The more casual people who might like party games, the large scale maps for players who like Ground War, TDM, Dom, Kill Confirmed, Free For All, the basic stuff there, but also competitive stuff, while also having new modes debut as well. Like when I say there's something for everyone here, just going off of this initial list, there quite literally is something for everyone, which to me is awesome, especially if we do get all of these at launch. I don't necessarily expect that to be the case. I'd be pretty surprised if every one of these modes was there at launch. And like I said earlier, we already know Gunfight is confirmed to be an in-season mode, probably coming with Season 1, I'd imagine. But even if we have the majority of these at launch, that is really cool and great news for content, because you're gonna really have something new to try constantly. You're always gonna have sort of that backup mode. Okay, maybe we're getting tired of Dom, let's go over to Hardpoint, let's go over to Cranked, let's go jump into some Ground War and play some large scale stuff. Really cool leaks in my opinion, ones that got me very excited for MP content and MP gameplay. But that's gonna wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. And if you're new here, or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.